the building. It's Cenk's giving time, baby. It's Cenk's giving time. Woo! Unk is here.
Okay,
what is that?
I got a Thanksgiving present for you. Okay?
You do? Okay. Oh my God.
How much do you love this? I know you're a big fan of Hunter Biden.
I know. This reminds me of one of the first.
I'll get you a new one.
No, it's fine. I like it. Did you guys make this? Is it your merch?
Yeah.
You made a free Hunter. It would have been better if he was smoking crack in it, but instead of cigs. But
come on, that's pretty good.
No, it's sick.
You know who came up with that idea?
Who?
I did.
I love that. Okay.
Free Hunter, baby. Okay, let's do a poly market here.
Okay. For poly market. Wait,
no, seriously.
Wait. You want to know something about? You want to know something about those? First of all, they got raided by the FBI.
The CEO did.
Yeah, the CEO did. I don't know if you know this, but they offered me as a starting point of the conversation, $1 million to just sponsor my election coverage, and I said no.
Good for you. God bless your heart. I probably would have said yes. Anyway,
well,
okay. So
just that's the entry point of the conversation. They were like, "We'll give you $1 million." I was like, "No, fuck no." Anyway,
okay. So, anyways, put that aside. Who do you think is going to pardon Hunter? No one, Joe, or Donald?
I don't know. I feel like Joe could possibly do it, but he respects norms and civility too much almost in his like weird twisted way. But also his mental faculties have declined dramatically over the years, so maybe he could still pull through. I don't think Trump would do it though.
I think Trump would do it, but I think Joe's going to do it because Papa Joe's in a no fucks given time in his life.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, landmines for everyone. Let's bomb Russia with American missiles. Yeah. So I think he's at the point where he's like, my kid. Yeah, I'm freeing him. Shut the fuck up.
Okay. So before we get started, you might be confused as to why we're calling you Shaky Gurga.
Yes.
And a lot of people in the past has, said your name incorrectly. It's been very frustrating for myself, but I'm sure it's been somewhat frustrating for you. Maybe you're used to it. But I had actually never heard this version of your name. And when we first heard it, we were like, this is it. This is the greatest thing I've ever heard. And now we refer to you as Shaky Gurga. Let's take a look.
It's possible that because he's such a low-tier, lowbrow debater.
He's not a debater, and he's been very clear that he doesn't. He's not a debate lord.
Because he's literally a
Wait, who are they talking about?
So this is, does anyone have the OG TikTok? I want to show Cenk, I want to show Uncle Cenk the OG TikTok. Does anyone have it? The TikTok got taken down. I can't find it. Okay, so this is the, I guess like one of those like misogynist podcasts where they just like will have someone, they'll have like some pervert guy who's like really good at debate like women that they hire to be on the podcast, to be ritualistically humiliated basically. And this is like their debate champion that they bring forward. And it was the girl that was on. The girl that was on was apparently a fan of mine and was saying like, oh, Hasan is going to hate that I'm on this podcast because he hates you guys. The original TikTok, I think. Oh, is this it?
You appear to have a crush on Hasanabi. Is that correct?
Yes, if he ever watches this, I'm sorry.
Sorry for what?
For being on here, he hates it.
Why?
Okay.
He's a socialist and he knows the formula of the podcast. I'm not going to go into, you understand.
It's possible that because he's such a low-tier, lowbrow debater.
He's not a debater, and he's been very clear that he doesn't. He's not a debate lord.
Because he's literally a moron, so it doesn't surprise me he can't debate.
I completely disagree.
He's literally a moron. He is not intelligent enough to destroy women in the marketplace of ideas and remind them of their position in society. Unlike me. I love these guys.
He sounds super credible so far.
I fucking love these guys so much. They don't know how much I love them because it's like, dude, you're just basically debating the position that you're an unfuckable loser. Like that's the only thing that you're signaling to every single person where you're like, I've destroyed this female in the marketplace of ideas. My interlocutors have been owned. It's like, okay,
it's not usually a winning formula for getting chicks.
Yeah, it's anyway.
Disagree. He doesn't say that he's the smartest person. He's an internet personality who
Who was connected to Cenk
a political commentator.
And got it.
Did you hear that?
who
was connected to Cenk.
Look, man. So look, when I played high school football, we had this hilarious public access would carry the games, right? And so we had these announcers, and the coach had put on pads, and he's kind of a young guy. Later was like involved in like a Supreme Court decision, etc. But he's like, all right, I'm going to participate in the practice, and anybody can hit me. He comes across the middle, and I fucking lay him out, right? And so coach hated me. I don't know if that's why he hated me or not. But the announcers in the game, I crunch somebody coming over the middle, and they tell the story about how I hit the coach, and they go, that's Cenk Uygur. He'll hit anybody.
Yeah, but we've heard that one before, like chunky yogurt. Charlie Kirk famously once called you a slur.
Did he? No, he just said Cenk.
Well, he said it with so much stink on it that it sounds exactly like when you say a chink in someone's armor. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. That's funny. He said Cenk. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he intended it or not. I doubt he intended it.
Yeah.
But anyways.
He didn't. Yeah, I don't think he was trying to say.
No, I don't think he was trying to say that. You think Charlie Kirk knows the Turks are originally Central Asian? And
No.
So,
but Cenk is a good one. Cenk is a great one.
Joe Manchin called me Jenks throughout the interview. Hey, Jenks.
That's awesome.
So it is in fact
here, famously.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk. I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk.
Have you never seen this?
I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk. I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk.
Every time.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, every time he gets more racist, his face gets smaller. And
I live like a capitalist every single day. I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk. I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk. I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk. I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk. I live like a capitalist every single day,
his
Cenk.
face was normal.
That's the right face.
Yeah,
That's
if his
a normal face.
Seemingly, if his face was like 110%, like if his face was 10% larger, like he would be.
I live like a capitalist every single day,
literally,
Cenk.
like 7 to 10% larger. He has a normal face.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk.
What?
I live like a
chill.
capitalist every single day, Cenk.
This is what he normally looks like.
Okay, so on the other hand, if we're talking about head to body ratio, well then we're
Don't even fucking yo, that's out of line. That is out of line, dude. You're coming in.
Start out ad hominem.
You came in hot. You came in. Thank you, Mom. Mom is defending me. She said that's a low blow. That's crazy that you came in and you hit me where it hurts the most, my tiny head. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, I wish I had tiny body parts.
I'm sorry that I am, brolic as fuck, and I have a normal head, but my shoulders are so ginormous that it makes my head look small in comparison, even though it's a normal size head.
Look,
Anyway.
I'm the last person to body shame. Okay, so
yeah.
let's just be clear about that.
So that's something that I wanted to. Yeah, I'm a delicacy in Korea. Okay, remember that shaky Gurga.
Political commentator.
And got his job because he had contacts.
Do you watch political commentate?
Yes,
commentate?
I'm a political commentator.
Okay.
Who is this guy? He is a political commentator? I've never heard of
I've
this
never seen
person. We don't know you, little bro. Anyway.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, actually, you know what? It's even better. His name is Zero.
Yeah, his name is nothing. So, anyway, you're too hairy for Korea. It's fine. We can get it. We can get that taken care of. So, this dude was on Twitch a long time ago. Okay, nice. Who cares? All right, fuck that guy. So, this was a fun moment as well. You had this. We'll show your highlight reel here. Shaky Gurga gets into a fight with Alan Lichtman. The people love this shit. Okay, I love this shit as well. I've made fun of Alan Lichtman before, like before the election, where I was like, because a lot of liberals would come into my chat and be like, "But the 13 keys, like he knows how to turn him." I'm like, he made it up. Like you can't, like there is no hard science here. He made up certain, like he tried to make like a scientific equation for why he was going to be consistently, he's going to be consistently successful at predicting the outcome of elections. And it is ridiculous to look at that. It's like no different than, those famous like octopus that always choose the right,
he's totally
right
the
candidate
octopus.
ahead of time. Yeah. It's like mooding.
It's like the cat that falls. If he falls on his left side going down the stairs, then the Republican wins, and falls on his right side. It's nonsense. It's been nonsense from day one.
Anyway, but yeah, here.
Sorry, but I totally disagree with Juan and Professor Lichtman. Don't blame the voters. I think, look, we could get into this discussion, but Juan, I think you're blaming the voters. I think that's a terrible idea. And look, I debated Professor Lichtman before. I told him his theories about the keys were absurd. I was right. He was wrong. I said he'd lose his keys.
No, you were
Couldn't
not
find
right,
him
and
before
I
the
was
election.
not wrong, and that's a cheap shot, and I won't stand for it.
Well, who won, brother?
You know what's a cheap shot? Why do you have Justin Bieber hair? That's a real cheap shot. Get a different.
But seriously, that's important because at that point, I actually did not do any cheap shot. I just reiterated what he had said in the beginning, that he was wrong, right? So he admitted he was wrong, and I said, look, you were wrong, and I was right. That's all. That's not a cheap shot. Later, there are cheap shots because he started interrupting me, which is a very bad idea.
Yeah, he should have. You should have cheapened the shots, is what I'm saying. You could have hit him on the hair thing. Like, I just don't understand why he has that haircut. I just, anyway.
You should not be taking cheap shots at me.
Who
You
won?
gotta make your
You
point.
live
Make your
in
point.
a total
Don't make it
world of
personal.
denial.
I read your own follow.
I love that. Dude, you're such a fucking boomer. That's such it's amazing. It's great. You're authentically yourself. But when you went, woo,
Total authentic boomer. That's how Shaky Gerger shakes.
oh, that's so good.
Followers' comments, and they all trashed you, every one of them, and supported me.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so let me tell you what happened there. So I debate him on Young Turks. What happens is all of the key stands show up and so they're
The
like
key heads, yeah.
the key heads are like, oh my God, he's so right. You don't even know that 7 keys is higher than 6 keys. And this has been so true of all people that I really, really want to win, right? So like they're total zombies. And they go into the YouTube section. Look at any of our YouTube videos. It is at least 50% trolls, right? Of whoever, Israeli trolls, right-wing trolls, left-wing trolls, whatever. And this brother thinks, maybe that's the 14th key.
Yeah, he's just
brother. No, you were just selling them Kool-Aid.
he's on copium. He's looking for. It's just funny because this is after the election, where he is like, before the election, everyone that wanted Kamala Harris to win desperately was like propping him up as this like prophetic figure. And I always thought that was ridiculous. And, I think they even did a video on me early on as well, because I think his son might have been a fan of mine or something. And they were like very upset with my interpretation or my bastardization of his 13 keys analysis. Right. And but after the election, like, you should at least hang your head in shame. You know what I mean? You should have a little bit of decency to be like, yeah, fucked up. Let's reinterpret this stuff. Let's figure out what's going on.
Yeah, but look, the corporate wing is never going to
defending my dad's honor against Hasanpiker.
The corporate wing's never going to admit defeat.
He sounded like an emotional and disrespectful teenager. God, Hasan is so smug and arrogant. The fact that he's one of the biggest political commentators, streamers out there with no knowledge or credibility on any political subject.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what they always say. They're like, well, if you were credible and you knew enough, you would know that corporations should donate to politicians and then completely own them, and those politicians should do dick for you. And that's like the really credible intellectual position. Is it, brother?
He's mad that your dad put his uncle in his place. That's what this guy said.
Like you would give a shit.
I didn't even know.
Didn't even know we were debating.
I didn't even know you guys were duking it out.
Like I'm picturing a moment where you're like, I can't believe he did that to my uncle.
Yeah, first of all, I do defend you. I do defend you. Okay, I do defend you when it's valid. And if I knew that he had come after you, I would have defended you. I don't defend you when it's not valid. I
hear you. But the idea of you defending my honor is hilarious. But okay, keep going. You don't have to defend my honor.
Intelligence versus chaos and hate. Love you and your dad. Anyway, don't go after this person. Like, they're probably suffering already. But yeah, it seems as early as August, I was shitting on them when I first encountered the thing. But anyway, it gets better.
personal
Yeah,
attacks.
come find out again.
Make whatever point you want. Don't
Look,
make it personal.
You don't know anything. You don't know anything.
You attacked me
You
personally.
You're so deluded.
Oh, right. I've only
Okay.
been a
Can I
professor
just-
for 51 years.
On this program,
published
I've never been
13
able
books.
to finish a
How
thought.
many books have you published? No, because you're personally attacking me again. Say whatever you want, but I'm not going to stand for
brother,
personal
you got it
attacks.
wrong.
Say
you were
whatever you want.
preposterously and stupidly wrong. So, okay, all right. Can I just
Don't
finish
call
a
me
goddamn thought
stupid.
ever on this show?
No, not if you're
Okay,
personally
well,
I
you proved
admitted
it.
I was wrong. I don't need you to call me stupid.
Okay.
Can I just say,
What
it's
kind
great
of
to see
nonsense
you
is that?
Democrats
Yeah, I
all
know.
getting
Who
along
taught
so
you
well.
manners?
God, I just Piers, man. He just. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into it. I know he's your best bud. He's your
It's
pal.
lovely to
You're
see a
one-
post-election
Can I finish a
harmony as you all
goddamn
come
point?
together
We're
again.
just
Hey,
one
Alan,
right now.
shh. Hey, Alan, you deserve a tall glass of shut-up juice, so can you just shut up?
Cook him! Cook him! Unk! Cook him! Cook his ass! Dude, I love your your commentary is excellent. You said tall glass of shut up juice. You are the brownest white man on the planet, by the way.
Well,
like what you are
Others
like,
have charged that.
yeah, it's just so funny that you deserve a tall glass of shut up juice is the most like, listen, pal, not the time bucko ass take that you could have here.
You know why? Because I'm an American.
Yeah, you just deployed that shit, dude. You deployed it so hard.
For a second.
And it worked. You shut the fuck up.
Well, that's what the tall glass of shut up juice is for.
Yeah.
And let someone who knows what
Not
they're
if
doing.
you're
So
gonna
right,
personally
Piers.
attack
You're
me.
so right.
So
We're so
Make
unified
any
right now.
point you
Straight.
want.
So-
I will not sit here and stand
So-
for personal attacks, for blasphemy against me. You don't need to do that. You don't boost your
Blasphemy
ego
against you?
by
What the hell are
attacking
you?
me
Are you?
like-
Blasphemy? What a fucking insane thing to say about your like demonstrably failed political method. Like you try to interpret the election in a way that like very clearly was wrong, and now you're saying you're a blasphemer. That's amazing.
Jesus
Just
Christ,
make your
you
points.
loser. Okay, can
Even
I?
Harry liked it. Harry loved it, dude. Fucking Harry Sasson.
Your points.
Can I just give the correct answer for once? Okay, here we go. So, guys, you're blaming disinformation. There was disinformation. There was the cats and the dogs nonsense. The points you're making about undocumented immigrants, I agree with, Alan, okay? But that didn't cost the election. The main disinformation was about how the election was going to be rigged. And it wasn't rigged. It was dumb. They won easily. There was no need for that disinformation.
Excuse me. It was too big to rig. That's why.
Oh,
too
yeah.
big to rig. That's what we did, baby. That's right. Trump 2024, Trump 2025.
You guys are missing the whole point. The people who are at fault are not other people. It is the candidate, Kamala Harris, the previous candidate, Joe Biden, Democratic Party, Democratic leadership. You guys don't want to admit that they're the problem. They're the cancer in the Democratic Party. So you blindly lash out at the voters, at information, at social media, and you want to shut down anyone who disagrees with you.
Where's the key when you jiggle the keys?
That's later. You know, that actually didn't make the viral clip, which is really funny because
Yeah.
I thought that might do it. Because in the
Elections
middle, as he was talking,
pre-
do you have it?
Oh, yeah. Here it is. Yeah. They pulled it out. Real.
Previously worked as pragmatic decision-making on whether or not the White House party has governed well enough. And then my analysis is based upon what's changed, what's shattered the pattern of 160 years of history. So I have a base for
They
my...
fucking full pan to you? God, Pierce is such a piece of shit. Oh my God.
He knows what's good TV.
Oh my God. He is such a dickhead, dude.
analysis. I'm not just doing Monday morning quarterbacking. Cenk, you need to learn some manners.
I brought him back. Jingle jangle. Jingle jangle.
Damn, she got
So-
1.2 million views, dude. Goddamn.
Your act is getting really
I
thin.
mean, brother, I said what was going to go wrong. It did go wrong. I was right. You were wrong in this election spectacularly so with your so-called keys. And now you come and tell us not the Monday
And
morning
unlike you, I'm
quarterback?
willing to admit when I'm wrong.
Are you ever going to learn?
Unlike you.
Why I actually do that all the time. Anyway, look, they're gonna bring this. So first of all, for now, leave poor Alan Lichtman alone, right?
Yeah.
He's just a civilian, whatever. Who cares? Like, I don't know if it's true that people are swatting or doxing him. That's crazy. Why would you bother with a professor who got it wrong?
Yeah.
That's like totally irrelevant. Now, but they're gonna bring him back in 2028. And more accurately, they're gonna bring him back in 2027 during the primaries.
Yeah.
They're gonna primaries.
They're gonna
we
bring
have a
him.
progressive populist, and they have like their corporate douchebag.
No, they're
gonna
gonna
be
bring
like,
him-
oh, the keys.
No, they're gonna bring him back to talk about how Pete Buttigieg, Josh Shapiro, and gruesome Governor Gavin Newsom are the 3 top contenders. Maybe throw Kamala in there for a spicy people. I think her political career is done.
Oh, can I tell you why they're doing that? So people are now talking about, oh, Kamala Harris might run again, like 41% of Democrats or something. I didn't see the poll, but saying that they might vote for her. Number one, they're saying that because she's famous and she just ran. So that's not a reliable number. But the interesting part is they always say that somebody might run. Like for a while, they put out a rumor after Hillary Clinton lost that Chelsea Clinton might run. They do it themselves. Why? It's to increase their market value. Because listen,
Clinton.
I know. Because if Kamala Harris says she's not going to run again, well, then her book is less interesting. She gets less for her speeches because she's not going to be. Right now, though, if she says I might run again, she might be the future president of the United States. Even if it's a 10% chance, 20% chance, the Goldman Sachs and Raytheon, et cetera, are all going to pay her for huge speeches. The book is going to sell more, et cetera. You're more marketable if you say you might run again. That's why they literally do it as a business tactic. So she's not going to run again. I got a bold prediction for you guys. Head of USC, president, dean, whatever of USC at some point, because she doesn't want any piece of this. She's so nervous.
She's not very good at this.
She's not good at it. She doesn't want to do it.
As we found out in 2019, and once again, this time around as well.
Yeah, she's got no business running. She didn't want to run. She sucks at it. All she has is talking points. That's why I said do a real primary. But of course, all the Democratic leadership yelled, no real primaries. We anoint.
In the interest of fairness, this is where I also was, well, I'll explain my position, but I also said that I think the open primary process would spell chaos and disorder for the Democratic Party, especially so close to the actual election. And I thought because she was a blank slate, that there was an opportunity there to fill that blank slate with actually somewhat good policies. Even if she's not charismatic herself, she could have still, especially after she got locked in with Tim Walz, I was like, oh, this is great. She's going to be forced to like have to defend some of these positions and inevitably maybe even move away from the tack to the right attitude that the Democrats usually have. Of course, I kept warning over and over again, if she does that, she's going to lose. And she did do that, and she lost.
But look, here's the thing.
But yes, an open primary, I think, would have put forth possibly. I mean, would have put forth a stronger candidate regardless. Yeah. But we also don't know like how chaotic that process would have looked like as well.
Who cares? So let's just break it down one by one. You agree that Biden should have withdrawn a year and a half ago?
I agree that Biden should have picked a better VP candidate that he knew was going to be the transitional.
Can we also like give the right wing a tiny bit of credit here? I mean, they go too far when they say she's just a DEI hire. She was the Attorney General of California. She was a senator from California.
She had the
was she
bona
picked because
fides.
she was a black woman? Of course, she was picked because she was a black woman.
I mean, Biden said that was the real reason why she not only picked. I'll take it one step further. It's not even Kamala Harris that frustrates me about that. It's the fact that Biden said that about Ketanji Brown Jackson, who literally is more deserving of a Supreme Court appointment than most of the other Supreme Court justices. And he still fucked the bag up by turning around and being like, oh yeah, I'm picking a black woman, Jack. And it was fucking nutty because like, that's the first time we've had a public defender sit on the top court. Like that was not a DEI hire in the way that conservatives mention it.
So do you know that I'm against affirmative action? I've always been against affirmative action. And
wait, really?
Yeah. And the reason
I did not know that.
Yeah. The reason is because Ketanji Brown Jackson is an excellent Supreme Court justice who's perfectly qualified. So is Sonia Sotomayor. But the minute that any minority, by the way, including us, gets any position of power, respect, etc., what does everybody do? I just got it because they're black. They just got it because they're this.
No,
I
I think
just got it because of that.
I think that's
and you think that's just a right wing thing, but it isn't. It
no,
gets
no,
into
no, no.
everyone's head.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but I respectfully disagree. I think that is like ultimately caving in and capitulating to right-wing framing on the issue. The affirmative action conversation has always been a band-aid solution to like significantly more consequential racial dynamics in this country that have never been addressed at all. And I've always looked at things from a class position regardless. And like the real affirmative action is legacy admissions.
100%.
Like,
we even have a petition on tyt.com to end legacy petitions, because if you're against affirmative action, you have to be against affirmative action for super rich dudes whose dad went to Princeton or gave Princeton $1 million. Okay.
Yeah. George W. Bush going to Yale, you know?
Yeah, that's
He didn't
totally
fucking deserve to
bullshit.
go to
And by
Yale.
the way, you know who else was an affirmative action pick? Joe Biden. Because Obama picked him because he was an old white guy. He's like,
old
I
racist,
don't really care.
old racist white guy who
By
has
the
like
way,
gas.
you know that with absolute certainty, because in his final list, he had a big list in the beginning, but in the final list, it was only old white men, because they knew they had to balance the ticket because he was a young African American. So let's not pretend that they didn't pick on demographic information.
No, but
Obama did, and so did Biden.
Yeah, but also it doesn't work in that direction regardless, because like obviously the underlying sentiment is that like affirmative action is not the reason why people think black people are undeserving of their position in society. They already thought that, and now they're using affirmative action to, continue to compound on that argumentation.
But it does compound, and I hate that it compounds because it's not true.
I'm more like the process itself in terms of like affirmative action in general, albeit is still, like I said, not a good solution to systemic racism and inequality that persists, and black people being consistently underserved in American society even now. Even when I recognize that, it's still not like, anything that moves the needle in an appropriate direction is fine. Like I don't have an issue with it, especially if it's like, for example, making colleges more diverse in general. That's a good thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all, because I do agree with college administrators when they say that America is a diverse country and that we want our student body population to be more representative of the country as a whole.
Yeah.
And I think that actually makes it a more like, these are some of my most like rad lib takes, I would say, but I do think that actually makes it a better learning environment in general. When you're a kid from the countryside that has never really encountered black people other than like, seeing black people and black culture on television, when you actually go to college and you're in a dorm and your dorm mate is a black person, for the first time you're actually encountering and developing interpersonal relationships with people that you otherwise never would have.
So,
I think that makes for a better learning environment.
So two things about that. Look, as you were talking, I came up with an analogy here. Let's see how it goes. I view affirmative action as kind of a counterproductive Band-Aid on a wound. So the right wing says the wound doesn't exist. No, I think the wound does exist. I just don't think that the Band-Aid is the right solution, right? Because what the Band-Aid is doing is it's covering up the wound and not letting it breathe and not letting it heal.
You're a bit of an accelerationist.
Okay, so
in that regard.
Well, it's a very different accelerationist.
No,
and
but
I'm not trying to accelerate racism. I'm trying to end racism.
That's what pure Marxist-Leninists say about the welfare state.
Okay,
it's a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid continuation of like of.
Yeah, but they're wrong. That's a completely different topic.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I got you. So, but in this case, so constantly reaffirming and reaffirming, we should think about race. We should think about race. We should characterize everyone on race. That doesn't help defeat racism. It perpetuates racism. So I think it's a terrible idea. I hate that we view ourselves separately based on different categories: race, gender, sexual orientation, etc. It doesn't mean that there aren't things that are going wrong now. It doesn't mean that there isn't systemic racism. It means that there's a better way to address it. And then in terms of the diversity, look, I would do not affirmative action, but whatever is the appropriate way to put a thumb on a scale, but for acceptance into schools based on class, not on race. And it's not because of class dynamics and I don't want the rich to go to good schools, etc. No, I'm saying that if you came from a poor background, I don't give a goddamn if it's from the hollers of West Virginia or your black kid in the Bronx. If you rose up and got great scores and great grades in a situation like that, you are more likely to be successful. It's not just that it gives you diversity. What it gives you
Confucianism pilled.
Okay, I'm what pilled?
Confucianism pilled.
Okay, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, no,
okay.
you wanna yeah, this is once again Jenkins Dengus rise up, you know? You want a Chinese style
meritocracy.
Pure meritocracy, pure meritocratic approach. Now the problem with that is that when you have underserved communities consistently, you got to put your thumb on the scale in a certain place because we don't have true equality of opportunity in this country. And obviously, people like yourself and myself, that's what we're advocating for. Republicans will turn around and bastardize that critique it by saying, you want equality of outcome. We don't want equality of outcome.
No, I
we
definitely
want
don't
true
want
equality of opportunity. And when there's no true equality of opportunity, when black communities are consistently underserved, when you look at the Chicago public school system that is 90% of the state of Illinois